Welcome to listening. Chapter 4. This one's a fun one. I hope you guys are listening for it. Okay, so we're going to skip our listening test. We listen all day, every day, no matter where you are listening. You listen in your professional life, you listen in your personal life. In your personal life, you listen for the fact that you want to maintain your relationships, you want to have your friends in your life, you want to have family members around, you're trying to glean information all of the time. Maybe you go to the doctor's office. You want to be able to make sure that you take your medicine correct. So you're listening and hanging on every word that they say. In the classroom, hopefully right now you're listening and paying attention to the video so that you're like thinking, is this going to be on the test? And taking notes as we go. In your professional life, you want to be able to keep your job, so you listen to your boss and follow through and do what you are expected to do and make sure that you do well on your performance evaluation every year or every 6 months or however your structure is done. So you pay attention and listen in your professional world. We are evaluated and expected to listen all of the time. So listening takes place in all facets of our life. Now, we think of listening, but listening and hearing are two completely different functions. Listening can just be, hearing is the actual, just there are sounds in the room. You know that there are sounds in the room. I feel like get into this role frequently when I'm mom. I know that somebody is saying mom and they are saying mom, 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 and I know that there are sounds in the room, but somehow I have tuned that out and I'm not paying attention to that. I'm not processing that. Nobody is screaming for help, so it's no longer important to me. I am not making sense of that. Now, when I'm listening, I'm actually engaged. I am kind of leaning forward. I am kind of hanging on those words. I am really putting sense to that and processing that information in a very different light. So those are two very different functions that we participate in this process. Either hearing it and really not being a part of the process, or listening and really engaging and making a more meaningful component to what is going on. Now, there are 4 different types of listening, or reasons why we would engage in this listening. We might be listening for content or some intent, like there is some kind of purpose as to why you are engaging in this process. So maybe you're trying to figure out, get some information, some specific details. This might be why you would have listened to Checker's speech on Tuesday. It was Checker's Day. So maybe you pulled up Nixon's famous speech called Checker's Speech and listened to it so you would know more about what I'm talking about right now. It's on YouTube if you're interested. Maybe you're listening for the purpose of learning. You're trying to learn some kind of new concept. Maybe you are working towards getting into nursing school and you want to make sure that you are up on all your anatomy and physiology, and you want to be able to identify all of your major organs or something like that. So you're listening for the purpose of learning. You could also be listening for the purpose of relating. You are on a date and you want to make sure that you get a second date. So you want to make sure that you relate well to this person, you engage in your best empathetic listening skills, and you remember all of the things that go on in this conversation. You can also be listening for pleasure. Maybe you're sitting down and watching a movie, you're just trying to relax and hang out and spend some time doing something fun for a change. And those are your 4 types of listening that we engage in. Listening doesn't always come easy for us. There are several barriers that we encounter. It could be some kind of distraction that is part of your environment. I have, dogs that come randomly barking into the room when I'm at home. I have kids that come yelling and wanting things. I've got a husband, I've got air conditioner that chimes in and makes noise. You've got mental distractions. You've got your grocery list that goes on in your head. You've got other classes. You've got all kinds of things that go on. Multitasking. Maybe you are sitting in class and you're also trying to text to see what's going on in real life. All kinds of things. You're hopefully not driving and doing those functions at the same time. But all of these can be barriers to your listening. And then we also have the perceptions that we have. Maybe you start to pay attention to somebody because you think that they seem to be an important person. You see them walking around and they're wearing a suit. Ooh, people that wear suits, they seem to be important. So they obviously have some kind of important status. I'll pay attention to them. Or maybe some kind of stereotype that you have makes it seem as though you shouldn't pay attention to them. So those might also be a barrier that we have when it comes to listening. And in addition, maybe you have some, like for example, a personal bias. Like maybe you just, I just don't get along with people like that. Or you just have some kind of defensive barrier that makes it very difficult for you to get along or listened to people. Maybe if that soapbox, once they get on that particular soapbox, you shut them out and you will not listen. I just don't care about it when people talk about those kind of pieces of furniture. I'm no longer interested in the conversation. So we have personal issues when it comes to, or personal barriers that when it comes to listening as well. The listening chapter is a very short chapter as far as the learning objectives that are covered on the test, the testable items. Make sure that you look that over. I do have a 5-minute clip that is what is called, it's called from the Films on Demand. It's it's part of the library collection. It's a little 5-minute clip. It's a good one on listening that I've uploaded into Blackboard. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to take your test, and good luck to everyone.